Good day, everyone. It's colder here, I think, than it is in Sochi. It's going to be 60 degrees in Sochi, and we have more snow. I've been thinking of skiing recently. I got a phone call a couple of weeks ago from a buddy of mine who invited me to go skiing with him, his wife, and his kids. I really wanted to say yes because I hadn't been on skis for a while, but when I looked at my schedule, I just didn't have time. It wasn't going to work out. I was afraid I wouldn't get back. They had threatened more snow, and so I said thanks, but no thanks. But it did get me thinking about skiing. And the last time that I was on a pair of skis, it was probably a couple of years ago. And I think it was with this guy and his wife and his kids. And I remembered, again, in looking at the Olympics these recent days, we see a lot of people careening down mountains, whether they're in bobsleds or snowboards or skis. But I remembered that when you ski, in order to gain control of the direction in which you want to go, you need to lean. You need to lean in to where you want to go so that you can be in full control of the skis, the snowboard, the whatever, and so that you don't go careening straight down the mountain and pick up too much speed. When you control where you're going to lean, you can control so much, including the speed with which you go down the side of that mountain. Leaning. Leaning is important when it comes to skiing. That word was obviously in my mind when I prayed the readings for our Mass this morning, when I prayed them last night. Because the readings, both of them, the letter from St. James and the Gospel, speak to us, warn us in some way about leanings. We all have leanings. We all have leanings in some way, religious leanings, political leanings. And the Lord invites us this day to look at those leanings and the ways in which we live our own daily lives. Every single day we have a choice. Are we going to lean toward the dark or toward the light? Are we going to lean toward happiness or sadness, lightness of heart or heaviness of heart? Each and every day we have an invitation. That's what James is speaking of in the letter. He's warning his listeners that the tendency to worry too much, the tendency to be a little too sad, a little too depressed, a little too angry, a little too prejudiced at times might be there. But because of Jesus Christ, we can control the leanings, and we can lean away from the darkness and lean toward Him. Lean on Him. Depend on Him to lift us up far and away from any darkness that life might invite us to be a part of. In the Gospel, when Jesus says to His own friends, His own apostles, beware the leaven of the Pharisees. What he's saying is, don't lean in toward selfishness like they do. Beware the leaven of Herod. Don't lean into what Herod leans into. Keep your eye on me. And then he goes on to remind them what he gave them in the feeding those days. The multiplication of the loaves and the fishes, looking toward the importance of Eucharist, looking toward the importance of communion with Him, in Him, with Him, allowing His light, His life to flow through our veins. My friends, what's going on in your life right now? What are you leaning toward right now? Are you leaning toward a little too much worry, perhaps, because there may be something going on in your life? Are you leaning toward a little too much heaviness, sadness, concern? You have control because you have Him. Jesus Christ is our way, not a way. He's the way to goodness, to light, to happiness, to peace. A peace this world cannot give, a peace of heart, a peace of mind that allows us to sleep at night because we know that He is there with us, helping us face anything that life might challenge us with. My friends, this day, as Jesus tried to remind the disciples that with him they could do anything, this day he reminds us of the same. With him, there is no darkness that we can't get beyond. With him, there is no challenge that we can't face. With him, there is no illness, sickness, sadness that we can't carry, because he is ever by our side, helping us to carry it with him. Never alone, always with him. This day, as we listen to his word, he invites us to not only let it inside, but to allow it to fill us, to push out the worry, to push out the darkness, to be able to lean not only toward him, but lean on him, for no other reason than he wants us to. And he wants us to because he loves us. He loves us very, very